We're at the Baldock Arena in the socially distanced room here, and it's time for our pre-season interview. We love doing this every year and picking the brains of the Hitchin Town first team manager Mark Burke. This year it's a little different. It's going to be put out on YouTube as well as played out before the commentaries, and we're very grateful for Eddie Riley to be here today and film it. We're also joined by Mark. I think it's your first interview that you've done with us.
Yeah, it is the first of many, hopefully, so I'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, well, we've done a few player ones already this season, and Mark Burke's here as well. Thanks very much for your time already, Mark.
No, good to see you boys. It's good to be back in the swing of things.
So it's been a long layup, about 4 months or so without football, and unfortunately you had to end on that defeat against Peterborough Sports. But how have you managed to keep the team bonded throughout lockdown?
Well, we've got a group WhatsApp where we give out information for matches coming up. That was what happened last season. And within that group WhatsApp, we've sort of tried to create a virtual changing room. So whilst we can't see each other and be with each other, there's been a bit of banter between the players. We had a little 5k challenge, which a lot of the boys did. We give them little tasks to do, little one individual tasks, and they came back with their little videos and stuff. So, been active via the WhatsApp group, Twitter. There's a few on social media, not all, but we've kept in touch, and yeah, it's been okay.
I mean, the fortunate thing nowadays, obviously with the internet and things like that, we've got programs like Zoom where we can actually utilise that, and it's proven to be very beneficial. So training has resumed after a long break, and you were pleased with the attendance of the first few sessions. Is that a sign that your players are hungry to get back and be playing again?
Yeah, no, I was really pleased. We had a gentle start to pre-season. It's a soft approach. We were just training once a week on a Thursday. Attendance was excellent. Everybody from last season returned, and we've just eased the boys into it. So it's not been we call it sort of the pre-season, so that they could get to see each other. So we've had our virtual chat in the changing rooms. Now they've actually seen each other. Socially distanced, groups of 5 training. We've had a little circuit that they've been able to complete. So we did that for 3 weeks, and then we started for real on Thursday just gone. And been really pleased with the commitment and the attitude and the energy that the boys are showing, and I'm really excited.
Sure. Anybody in particular impressed?
They all have, to be honest with you. They've looked after themselves, which is great. You know, lockdown could have gone one of 2 ways. Yeah, the COVID stone, which some of us may have.
Yeah, and, COVID stones. I like that.
And then there's there's those that have looked after themselves. And I'm pleased to say, looking at the sessions that the boys have completed, they've looked after themselves, and you know that shows you that they've got a good attitude. They've applied themselves, and that's the sort of thing that the qualities and that are looking in players.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, you've talked about the pre-season. Now it really is the start of pre-season. Letchworth, Garden City tomorrow night, a sort of regular opponent. What do you make of how your team might shape up against them? Okay,
so it's we're using it to experiment a little bit. We're going to play 2 teams, one for 45 minutes, another 45 minutes. So I've got a lot of players. As I say, I've got continuity because the bulk, well, all of the squad have returned, and I've got 2 or 3 new lads that I've added to the squad, which we needed to. I think Letchworth, I'd like to say thank you to them for hosting us and putting the game on. As you say, it's a bit of an annual thing. It's just a pre-season friendly. As I say, it's more of a tool for us for our training. We will play Letchworth again during the season in the Vince Page Trophy, just for his memorial. So this is more of a training exercise. So whilst it's unfortunate there are no spectators allowed to come to the game, it's probably not a match that they want to come to anyhow, because it's going to be more of a training session.
You have Leverstock Green next Tuesday, am I right in saying that's going to be live on HCFC Radio, our first live commentary of the season? They're a regular opponent in the Hearts Cup sort of circle. Yeah. So you've had a few clashes with them. Will that be more of a sort of competitive friendly, where you look to, go out and go for the win?
It's to be honest with you, winning's not the main priority in the moment. It's actually trying things out. If we can win, that's great because it gives you confidence. But it's not the main factor. It's the performance that counts. Leverstock Green, old friends as you say, they're celebrating. I think it's over 100 years of football. Shame they can't have the spectators in, but great plug from yourself. I'm sure everyone can keep tuned in with your commentary. So. Hopefully your figures will be going up, your listening figures. But we step it up again. Players will probably be playing 60 minutes rather than 45. So it's a gradual thing. You build into the minutes that players get in games.
A little eagle ear of mine popped up when you said that you've recruited some new players. Just really interested to know where you thought to strengthen the team, or is it a team strengthening decision, or is this just sort of more to give a bit of squad depth?
Bit of both. For a number of years really, we've always been a little bit light up front. So we've worked hard to try and recruit some strikers. You're gonna have to wait and see. I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not revealing. I'm gonna tempt you, but I've got 3 to come alongside Steve Corley, who's come back, who I'm young, hungry, and I'm really excited about. They've impressed me in their training. At the moment, no forms have been signed, so that's why I don't like to say too much. Once the forms are signed and the ink's dry and the dotted line, then we can reveal who they are. But really excited by them. The rest of the team, or squad I should say, I was really pleased with. We ended up last season averaging 2 points a game from January, which is playoff.
We did have a great end to the season, I thought.
Really good. We've gone to Stourbridge, Bromsgrove, Peterborough Sports, Colville, 4 tough places. We've won at all 4 places with the squad that I had. Like I say, they've returned. If I can add these forwards, just gives a little bit more strength in depth, which is what you were talking about there. There's a couple more that I'm looking at, which I'm always looking to improve the squad. You've got to do that. You can't rest on your laurels, but. As I say, I'm excited about this season.
Lovely. I mean, one other thing before I hand back over to Freddie there, and that's Diogo, Colchester loanee. Any chance he's coming back?
Well, I'd love to. I'd love to. I'd like to congratulate him because he signed professional forms.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, Colchester. So
he's a great player.
He is a very good player, and him and Jake, they both came and did really well for us. Jake scored a number of important goals, so I'd like to thank them. We've done it over social media, but it's nice to do it on camera.
Of course.
So thanks to them boys. I think possibly they'll be looking maybe nearer the first team at Colchester than us, but you never know. If things don't work out, then obviously they've got my number.
One of the main things that will be notable this season for the players is the absence of fans. How is that going to impact them and also you and your coaches?
It's a funny thing really. Players are different. They're all sorts of different types of players. When I was playing, I used to love the buzz of a crowd, but I never really took on board what they were saying. It was just in the background. Some players really feed off it. Some players can be affected by it, certainly if they're getting negative comments. So each individual player is different. As I say, personally, the crowd was just like a buzz in the background for me. If players can sort of play like that, they're going to have to create their own atmosphere at the game itself. It is difficult playing in empty stadiums. Whenever you have pre-seasons or training games, you hear your own shouts and it echoes, and it is different. It is different. So I think they'll cope. I hope they cope. Time will tell, and we'll certainly find out in this pre-season fixtures.
Another feature of this new COVID impacted season is you'll be playing the exact same teams as last season. How can you prepare for that? Does that make it easier?
I think yes, it is in one respect. Obviously, those teams will have made changes. They would have had recruited new players, different players. But you do tend to find that there's like a 3-year cycle. You get teams that have the bulk of the same players, and we've been in this league for a number of years now, and it's funny enough, it's something that myself and the coaching staff have been talking about. We're going to put the onus on the players a little bit more to do their little bit of research on the opposition. So we can do that and we can tell them, but it'd be nice for them to, one, remember who we played against last year. So if we come up against a certain player who played for a different team, can you remember playing against him, and just what was his faults, what was his good points, how can we do better? So there's that where we're going to introduce them, sort of doing a little bit more research, and because we have played them last season and they're pretty much going to be similar, we should benefit from that.
So I mean, last season, towards the end of the season, as we just touched on very lightly, the team seemed to gel a lot better, and we was pulling off great results and lifted us actually out of trouble. So what I was thinking is have you made any? I mean, don't give too much away. Obviously, I know you won't. But has there been any like formation changes, tactic changes? Are you?
We have. We've got a theme, we've got a way we want to play. I can tell you as much as we're going to be hard working.
Yes.
We're going to defend from the front. We're going to press. I might be giving a little bit away, but that's how we're going to play. So we're going to have to be fit.
Yeah.
The boys have bought into this. We've had the chat with them. We've explained this, and they've accepted it. And that's the way we play. When we had those couple of years when we reached the playoffs, that's how we played. We played with I used to love it when opposition managers would say to me, "You're the hardest working team we've played against." That was music to my ears.
Yeah.
And I want that again. I want to repeat that. And it's no coincidence that by being that hardest working team in the league, we were successful.
Yes.
And we were able to reach the playoffs. So we've definitely got to try and replicate that again. Formation-wise, we have got our sort of main one that we're going to try and play to, but you have to adapt.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes there's opposition where it's not working. So we will have a plan B and C. But we have got a plan A which we'll be playing, but top secret.
Absolutely. And I don't blame you at all.
We've talked about the transfer side of things and maybe getting some new strikers. But due to the coronavirus, and obviously the club has been hit financially, will maybe more young players get opportunities in the first team?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I think history shows that we've always been a club that gives young players opportunities. We've got the college program that's based here at the arena, and that's produced a lot of players for our first team. I think it's in the 30 pluses now that have made first team appearances. And some have gone on to even better careers. Kane Smith being the big one at Bournemouth, and there's talk of him going to a league club now. Will Wright, Colchester, went to a league club at Dagenham at the moment. We got Lucas, who's here today doing the holiday course. He's a captain of Braintree now in the Conference South. So we've got a number of examples who've not only come through the college program but from the youth setup. Michael Johnson was at the youth setup. He's at St Albans now. So. We've always been that way, and it's because we never had a budget to compete with other teams in this. We've had to grow our own, if you like, plant them seeds and see them into fruition. So I don't think that's going to change. We are going to put a bit more structure in it though. So it's difficult making that leap from the college program under 19 level to first team. It's a massive gap. Fortunately, we've had players who have been able to do that, but we're going to have to put something in between. So we haven't got a reserve team at the moment, but we're looking to have a development squad. A development squad which is made up of players sort of 18, 19, 20, young, hungry again, as I say, who maybe not quite ready for the first team, but will train in the development squad. So they'll have their own training session, be part of Hitchin, but maybe go out and play with local teams to get their football on a Saturday in midweek, and we just keep an eye on them. And I've got Josh Bickerstaff, unfortunately he's had to retire through injury. His hip's playing up.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame, but
good player.
He's a good player. He's served the club really well. We had a lot of good times with him. and he's going to be coming into the backroom staff on the coaching side, and he's going to be in charge of that development squad.
Wonderful.
So he's going to look after that development squad for us. He'll be involved with the first team as well on the coaching side, but we're just creating that link between the youth setup and the first team. So
you've kind of answered one of my questions that I was going to talk about, because you've known me for several years now, and I've always been a big sort of supporter for youth football, and I just wondered, do you see this? I mean, Hitchin Town Youth have got they've got their own sort of system going, under sevens, under eights, all the way up. Do you think is part of your plan to include like maybe the best of those, to bring them into this development squad?
100%. It's all part of the pathway.
So I think this is great.
That's the pathway. Yeah. You know, this COVID thing has, what it's shown is people do come together.
Yes.
And you're so much stronger when you're one. So, what we'd like to do at Hitchin is create that club where we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
Yes, indeed.
So Saturday we had a training session at the club. We went on a little run, and we come back, and the lads come back, and they start to help clear up around the ground with the ground staff.
Yes.
And that's what I want. I want that integration. I want the players to show a bit of ownership with the club, so they're part of it. But there's integration with the fans. So we're all in this together. Like yourselves, Ed on the camera, Freddie, Merrick, Archie doing the commentary.
Absolutely.
Or the PA, and then Stuart, Matt. I shouldn't mention that because I'm going to leave someone out. So apologies if I've left you out. But we're all in this together. We are all in this together, and if we can come together, row in the same direction, it's a great club. It's a great club, and I think we could be so successful.
Yeah, I'm delighted that that's the way that it's gone, and I think we will pick up on some great players. I mean, we intend to sort of include Hitchin Youth in our commentary as well, and maybe even run some commentary on some Sunday games. And certainly, me of old, I'm going to be having my eagle eye out, and anybody that I notice.
Well,
of course,
scouts. I can't get enough scouts. So anyone who can give me information on players. Get in touch.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. You can get in touch if you feel you've got the qualities.
Well, about how we're all in this together, and one of my questions is, how would you address the fans before this season? Because it is going to be a season like no other, and tough for the fans. But how can the club stay connected with their loyal fan base? Well,
it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I mean, it's unusual times, as we know. No one's experienced anything like this. We're all adapting. To life, with this 2 metre rule, 1 metre rule. Yeah. But as I just said, I want to see that from the players, that they do integrate with the fans and make us all feel part of this. Little interviews, in the bar afterwards, where they can mix and chat, and as I say, we're all in it together.
We'd really like to. I mean, I don't know if you want to touch on that part as well, but it would be really nice and beneficial for everybody involved if at some point maybe we could get a player to join the commentary team for an interview, or even just to sit alongside and make comments.
100%. I think Josh did it as an analysis. But previously, I think he went down well. I think he quite enjoyed it, so I'm sure he'd be up for it. But you get different types of players. Some are a bit shy, and they might not want to. But I've definitely got some characters who will will liven the place up. So we can certainly work on that. Definitely.
Wonderful. Speaking of character, you want to?
Well, one character in the squad who we all know is Brett Donnelly, and we saw his retirement, much like Josh Bickerstaff. So I know two different types of players. Are you pleased that now he will just be a coach rather than a player coach?
Yeah, I'm delighted that he's on board. He's with us. He's 100% behind us on the coaching side. A little bit disappointed that he has retired football, but he's recognised that his time's up. And in football, you have to do that sometimes.
Tough decision.
It's hard. It's hard. I probably went on 2 years too long. I should have given up 2 years before it did. You can't help it. It's in you. Yeah. And I tell you what, when you do finish, it is quite emotional. So I'm sure he's had a few tears. He won't tell you that, but I'm sure he has. And we've got the vets team, which he can play once a month in. So
are you going to have a go?
Possibly. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if my legs could cope with that, but. yeah, now that's part again of the club growing together and having that element where once you're finished, there's somewhere else to play.
Yeah, I think that's great.
So Brett's really wants to throw himself 100% into the coaching side. He's committed. You know, he's got a great attitude. He spends a lot of time outside of when we train. So it's not just the 3 times a week. It's every day, pretty much. You know, he's going to be an asset to us. He was a great link for us between the changing room and the backroom staff when he was a player. Him and Simon Martin have both had that sort of role. He can still be that link, but he's stepping a little bit on the dark side, as they say.
Sure.
into the backroom staff.
Brilliant. Yeah. Very exciting times, they sound like. I mean, it seems that everybody is on board and positive, and that everything just sort of seems to be almost slotting into place. Do you know what I mean?
It does. I'm just hoping it's not too good to be true, but at the moment, how I want it to go, it's going that way. So, listen, there's going to be stumbling blocks somewhere down the line, but absolutely. At the moment, it's going nice and smoothly. Keep it going, and that's important that we hit the ground running. So last couple of years I've had to start from scratch. It takes time to build a team. You need continuity to be a successful team. We've got that by the majority of the squad coming back from the end of last season, so we can hit the ground running. We don't have to work so much on set. We're not having to retrain everybody. This is what we do. This is how we play. They know it from last year. All we're doing is reminding them now. We had a session on Monday night, and the boys looked really sharp. I was really, really pleased. As I say, I'm getting so excited because they're looking good. And it's keeping that continuity going. Keep that continuity going. And as I say, I'm really excited. I think we could have get off to a really good start. The last 2 years we've got off to terrible starts, and we've been fighting a battle to sort of survive. If we can get off to a good start and be in and amongst it at the beginning, then who knows where we could go.
Very exciting times. Freddie?
Well, a lot of optimism, especially after the last 4 months where, you know, we've had no football or anything to talk about. But one more thing which maybe fans haven't been as optimistic about, penalties. Well, you haven't missed one for about 5 months, but what are your plans for the next season? Yeah,
it's true, yeah. Well, to be fair, I think in Lane Edie, we did find one. Unfortunately, he did have his little illness, but he's back. So I'm confident that one of the new boys may be a penalty taker as well. So hopefully we can get rid of that voodoo. That was last season, unbelievable.
It was unbelievable.
To get so many penalties, let alone
to get some.
I've known seasons where we've had 2 penalties in one season. So to get so many and miss them was unbelievable. But I'm sure we'll be practicing the penalties as part of our pre-season plan.
And make that a thing of the past.
And make that thing. Yeah, rest that ghost. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for your time. A lot of reasons to be optimistic for Canaries fans. Maybe not if you're a supporter of other teams around the leagues, but hopefully we'll be able to catch up regularly throughout the season. Yeah. I mean, we always touch on this. What are the aims for Hitchin? Is it playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. As I said earlier, we showed playoff form from January onwards until the end of the season, and it's a case of getting that good start with the platform we've got now, with the players coming back and having that continuity. So playoffs, top 10 I'd accept. It'd be great to be in the top 10, but deep down I'd like to think we can push for those playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, on behalf of HTFC Radio, thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll meet again in the season. And like I say, hopefully it's full of joyous news.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, we'll definitely do that again. And,
wonderful.
Remember, Ed, sort out the old editing.
editing. You know. Lovely. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Well, the big date for your diary, first pre-season friendly, first live commentary next Tuesday. We're at Leverstock Green. We'll be on air from 7. Keep abreast of all social media platforms, so how you can listen to that game. And this interview hopefully will be up very soon. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Thanks very much for your time, Mark, Marek and Eddie.
No problem.
Just
Make sure you're
one more
listening.
touch is if you'd like to download the Zeno Radio app, and then in the search bar, if you type HTFC, you will be able to follow us on there, and you'll be able to catch up with all of the games home and away of Hitchin Town this season. So from Freddie and I, we're signing out.